Rapapa! Hello guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, and we are here with the last leaked character. We got our very first festival Iori in here, and it's green just like Iori 95, the first Iori in the series. Was he the first one in the game? I think so. Iori 95, the first character, the first Iori in KOF Allstar, the first Iori in the series, and our first Iori, our first festival Iori is the exact same typing and color. Whoa! Also, another cool thing is that even though it took a long time for them to come out with a festival Iori, it's kind of cool how it synergizes with how they released Festival Kill. The first Festival Kill we got was Kill 13, and he came out on the first anniversary. And this Iori is probably going to come out right around the second anniversary, which is in, I think, 4 weeks, something like that. And actually really it's actually pretty cool like that. I imagine that on the third anniversary we're gonna get the Festival Shizuru from KOF 15. You're probably wondering, oh Chad, you don't even know the roster of KOF 15. Don't worry about it, man. KOF 15 Shizuru will be in the third anniversary. You can quote me on that. So let's get into what this character can actually do. So first of all, we have this leader skill, which is a leader skill for defense characters like he is, and it increases defense characters attack by 40% and increases their defense by 12%. This is actually really good. You know, 12% increases. I mean, just look at his defense. He already has 7k defense over here, and his attack, increasing attack and defense. He give him a defense to attack conversion. This defense also goes into the attack, so very good. It might actually be better than a 60%, than a flat out 60% increase attack. Honestly, I think it actually is. I haven't really tested it out in the game, but I plan on doing so soon. But I think it is. So that is actually really good. A really good leader skill there for defense characters. So we have his core passive. So let's go through them rapid fire. First core passive, reduce burn damage by 30%. And then attack plus 630, defense plus 1900, increase bleed damage by 15%, increase damage dealt by hitting skill by 8%, and guard defense plus 960. None of these are particularly outstanding. The defense one is like the most outstanding because that is almost 2k defense that he gets from his core. That is a lot. If we go take a look at his defense here, he has a 7k defense. Of course, this already counts the core passive, but this already counts the core. But as you can see, it's a pretty good portion of this is those 2k defense. So yeah, that is actually really good over here. And the reduced burn damage is pretty okay. It makes him a good candidate to auto size you in Epic Quest. So that's pretty good. But aside from that, you know, it's not going to be that useful. So let's get to the other meats. We have the core passive, or maybe an It's an ad. Okay, I skipped the ad for you guys. I definitely need to get myself ad blocker. Anyways, his first core passive is when active skill hits, the enemy is given a bleed effect of 33% of defense power every second for 6 seconds. In PvP only, when hitting an enemy in bleeding state, immediately reduces power gauge of the enemy and inflicts 2.5 times the remaining damage of the bleeding effects and cancel bleeding. So that's a PvP exclusive bleed explosion. However, it's on a 15-second cooldown. It's actually really good. Decreasing PG gain or decreasing PG in PvP is more for live PvP, so he's more good there. But the biggest thing here is the guaranteed bleed explosion. Let me go through this again. The first part of his core passive makes it that any active skill that he does will always bleed an enemy by 33% of his defense, right? And the second part guarantees that when he's hitting someone that is bleeding, it will always be a bleed explosion, unless this second part is on the 15-second cooldown. That means that whenever he's in PvP, any first skill he lands on his enemy will always be a bleed explosion, and a damn powerful one at that. 33% of defense power, we already see how high his defense is. And if you put like a Kaya set on him or even a big set on him, his defense is going to even skyrocket even further. And then 33% of that, and then he just does a bleed explosion for 2.5 times the damage. Most characters have 2 times the damage. I don't think there's any other characters that has the 2.5 times the damage. So this guy might actually be able to take 80% of an enemy HP on his first skill. And that's just that's amazing. That's really good. That's really good. So let's go to his second core passive. His second core passive is when guarding with HP of 30% or less, recovers HP by 0.4% every 0.5 seconds. When attacked by a bleeding enemy in PvP, damage taken is reduced by 35% for 4 seconds. So if he is low on HP, he can just guard and heal. Though the threshold is really low at 38%, you can get one-shotted by a lot of characters in the game when you are 30%. I don't know exactly how beefy and how tanky he's going to become, but even if he's really tanky, it's at best 3 shots, like 1 rotation, and you're probably dead at that time. So you won't really have the time to just block and heal. So I wish it was maybe a 50% or maybe a 60% threshold, but it's still good. It's still free heal when you're under 30% of HP. So that's really nice. And he also has the damage reduction when an enemy is bleeding and attacking him, which is really good as well. 35% damage reduction is not the best, but it's still pretty high. That's a lot. That's like that's more than 1/3 of the damage just being shaken away. That's really good. I like that on him. So he looks like he's going to be quite a bit tanky. And on top of that, let's not forget that he also had the guard defense up by 960. So this is actually a character that you want to guard and block with quite often. So it seems like he's pretty much built for live PvP, because blocking is very important in that game mode and not so much in other game modes. But yeah, guarding with this guy is actually very nice and very good and very viable, because he's good. He's going to be pretty tanky while he's guarding. That's nice. So let's take a look at his skills. Let's just skip all the way over here. Yeah, we already know all of that. We already know how tall Iori is. We already know how much he weighs. Let's get a look at his skills. The animation is pretty nice, like the idle animation is pretty nice. The second skill, it's a bit jerky. Don't you guys think that it's a little bit jerky when he's recovering from his first skill? He's moving too much. Like he's like whoa, you know? He's whoa. You see that? He moves a bit too much. But that's just me. That is just me. Anyways, let's take a look at the meat of the skill itself. Skill 1 inflicts damage equal to 646% of attack power to the enemy, and has a 70% chance to ignore enemy guard. Pretty nice. Again, another live PvP quality of life stuff. It's also pretty good for time attack when you have these dudes over here blocking all the time. You know, it's pretty nice to have it there. And even in regular PvP, in Infinite Fight especially, enemies like to block a lot. And some bosses in PvE like to block as well. So definitely ignored guard is very good. Let's get to his second skill. That's the DP, right? I don't know. His second skill has like so little impact. Very little impact. Like in KOF 13, this skill has a lot of impact, right? It's quick and fast, and here it kind of feels sluggish. He feels like he's a bit sluggish with his rising thing. I don't know, I'm complaining a lot, but the overall animation is good. It's not bad. It's not bad. Just like a personal little gripe that I have, that it doesn't truly live up to the source material. Anyways, let's get to the meat of the skill. The second skill inflicts damage equal to 768% of attack power to the enemy, increases attack power by 38% of defense power. So he has the defense to attack conversion on his second skill, which is really good. It's also a skill that you want to start with because of the conversion, because it increases his damage for the rest of his skills that he's going to do, and also because it launches on the first hit and is really fast. It's almost, I think it's just about as fast as Kazuya's Doria, and we all know how good Doria is because it's so fast, right? And it launches the enemy into the air right away. So yeah, it's a pretty good skill, and honestly, it's the skill that I would recommend most people to start any combo with Iori over here with. So let's get into his third skill after watching his second skill one last time. His third skill looks pretty nice. It doesn't knock down, so I'm a bit worried that enemies might be able to roll out of it. But in terms of animation, it's the best looking one out of all of them, in my opinion. Yeah, it actually looks way better than the other two skills. Yeah. So let's take a look at what the skill actually does. Skill 3 inflict damage equal to 632% of attack power to the enemy. The skill can be used even while being hit only when standing up. and it has a 70% chance of decreasing of resetting cooldown and activates super armor for 3 seconds. So this skill is actually really good, really good. It's an interrupt skill. Of course, we all know interrupt skills are good, but on top of that, it has the chance, 70% is very high, of resetting its own cooldown, which means I don't know if it's its own cooldown because it only says 70% chance to reset cooldown. So it might be for all the skills. If it is for all the skills, then it's OP. But if it's not, then it's it's still very good, right? I imagine it's for just for the skill itself, but we will see. The super armor is always great. Super armor is always great on any character, on any skill. It's always awesome to have super armor, and being an interrupt skill as well with super armor is also very powerful. We all know that from Paul Phoenix. That's like the thing that makes Paul Phoenix. The fact that he can interrupt anything you're doing with a super armor skill that will knock you down and allow him to start juggling and comboing you. So yeah, he has pretty much the same thing as well, just that his skill does not knock down, which, like I said before, is actually got me worried that you might be able to emergency roll out of it, but I doubt you can. Because you have skills like Becky Lynch's second skill, which looks like you should be able to emergency roll out of it, but you can't, even though it doesn't have roll disable. So it might be one of those situations. So we'll see actually when when the character comes out and we see the skill. And we have here his finish skill, and is actually one of the few characters with a finish skill that has an effect. So let's take a look at his finish skill one more time. It looks really nice. I love the animation on this one. It looks really good. Like the effects looks really nice. I just don't like how he recovers. In KOF 13, he recovers like a beast. Like he's leaning forward and then he turns around like quickly in a snappy way. He looks really good, but here it looks like he's just tired. He's just like Shine. That's how it feels like, to me at least. Anyways, let's take a look at the effects of this skill. When the skill hits, including when guarded, at the end of the skill, all enemies receive additional damage of 200% of defense power. So this is actually really good. 200% of defense power, just damage to all enemies on the field, is really nice. It's the same thing as the Rock's second skill, the same thing as Mature's third skill, same thing as Armor King second skill, but for him it might actually do more damage than all of those because it's 200% of his defense, which we've already looked at and seen that it's pretty high. So pretty nice over there. And also it's on the finish skill, and usually finish skill don't have any effect, so this is an extra effect that is most definitely welcome. It will probably help him in time attack to be able to just erase guys like this guy here, who you either miss with your super or they roll out of it before they die. They will still die because of the 200% defense damage that he will be doing. So that is pretty much Iori. He looks like a pretty strong character for PvP. He looks like he would be better than Mature, at least for PvE, because remember, he still got that bleeding every time he hits a inactive skill, even though it's probably won't be stacking. It's probably going to act like let's say Kazuya's skill. You know, Kazuya's core passive, where he does the shock damage when he's above a certain amount of HP every time he hits the enemy. This is probably going to act the same way. It's not gonna stack or anything like that. So that's that. So what do you think about what do you think about big titties Iori, big cleavage Iori over here? What do you think about him? Do you like him? Do you dislike him? Do you think he's strong? Do you think he's weak? Do you think he's worthy to be the second anniversary festival character, or he's just not strong enough to be that? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take very good care of yourself. We are finally done with these elite characters. I love you. Coronavirus is not a joke, so cover yourself, wear some masks, get yourself, keep yourself safe, because I love you guys too much to lose you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.